Hey everybody, my name is Fergati, and today I'm back doing the trilogy of talking about a horrible human being that's been really annoying in my life. And apparently she's done even worse egregious things, so buckle up everybody. It's gonna get very interesting because oh boy, this is so bad. This is so damn bad, but it is funny. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to quickly summarize as much as possible the previous video. So I made a video called Don't Trust Women Part 1. I think it was Part 1. Don't Trust Women, and then I made another one called Don't Trust Women Part 2. Pretty much why I made those two videos is as a cautionary tale to young naive men to be very careful and be very careful women, because women can be very vain, vindictive, evil, and manipulative, and they can pretend to be nice and kind, and then you realize too late their true colors, because it has happened to me and my friends. So now I quickly explain and summarize what happened in the first two videos if you don't want to watch them, because I put in the description a link to the first two videos if you want to watch them, because they're pretty interesting. They're not as interesting as this one's going to be, but the first two are pretty interesting, and they help to explain the story in full instead of summarized. But as you know, I have a multiplayer crew that does YouTube videos with me that are multiplayer related, and there was originally 3 of them: Jalari, Ezo, and Justin, also known as Claptrap. Well, just recently, a few months ago, Ezo wanted to invite his best friend, who we'll name S, out of protection of their privacy. And S had a second person that wanted to join the crew as well. And S and Ezo have known her for a very, very long time. We'll call that person B. B has been living with S for a while because she's going through a rough patch in her life, and she needed a home since she has no one and nowhere else to go. So S has always seen her as a sister, especially since they've known each other for such a long time, because S used to date B's sister. So S and B were pretty much living okay. And then one day, B had an unfortunate incident where a family member sadly passed away in Japan. So B had to flee to Japan to go to the funeral. What then later on happened was she showed her true colors, stating that she was using S for a free roof over her head, and that she was lying and manipulating them, and she completely got what she wanted, and that she was saying goodbye to them because she felt that she used them and that there was nothing left to gain from them. She also stated some even more horrible things too, because ironically, after I made the first video talking about how I was disgusted of her actions, shocked that she was such a pathological liar, that she was able to just, like, she was a psychopath. The fact that she's a psychopath and sociopath, because the fact that she was able to do a fake facade where she was this kind, sweet girl that's been through so much horrible stuff, to just be this degenerate piece of garbage. I made a video about it because I was pissed off that S was used this badly, because S has had a really bad life, and he's had a lot of mental traumas that have seriously affected him even throughout his adulthood. So her doing that to him was the most disgusting and despicable thing a piece of garbage like anyone could ever do to him. So I called it out, and she saw the video, and funny enough, a couple of days later after that video, she immediately contacted S to put more gas on the fire, just really stabbing into his wound with a knife and trying to really just twist it and try to cause as much injury. Just saying stuff like, I should have told my sister to try to break your heart, but like a bunch of disgusting, horrible, egregious things. She was really trying to hurt him. And he's a nice and sweet person that helped her, and he didn't deserve any of that. He was nice. He was never disrespectful to her. He saw her as a sister and nothing more. He didn't want a relationship with her. So he only wanted to take her in to help her and have her be a member of the family, because him and her weren't the only ones living in that home. It was also S's mom and a couple other family members. So he wanted her to be a part of the family, and she backstabbed and betrayed him and said all these hurtful and disgusting things. Later on, though, she states she comes back a couple weeks later stating that all of it was fake. She was under drugs. She was in intense pain for the loss of her family member and a bunch of other stuff, and she decided to do drugs from a friend of a friend, or pretty much the friend. Well, it's a friend of a friend, and she got high and she accidentally said some horrible things that she didn't mean. And behold, I wasn't believing it, because one thing is, if she was under the influence of drugs, 3 days later after I post a video, she should have been. The symptoms should have worn away, especially since she stated that she only did it once and she didn't do it again. So that makes you ask the question, why was she still so violent and aggressive and evil 3 days after she allegedly used drugs? It should have worn away the symptoms at least a lot, so that she could have full understanding of her surroundings and consciousness. So that's why I was super, super suspicious and didn't want her to be a part of the group. But she wiggled her way and tried to be as sweet and innocent and, ooh, it wasn't my fault, as much as possible. And everyone started getting up on me, saying that why wasn't I forgiving her when they forgave me for some horrible thing that I did, which I'm not going to talk about that, but I did something bad. It wasn't as bad as what she did, but they said, we forgave you, why aren't you forgiving her? So I just pretended to forgive her and let everything continue the way it was. Lo and behold, the same week where I was sick with the flu, she apparently planned out a good time and place to be able to steal from the family again, because they brought her back. She came back from Japan and went back to America to live with S and his family again. And they all forgave her, and they just were like, okay, don't do drugs again. That you've now learned the cautionary tale of not doing, why you shouldn't do drugs. But lo and behold, while I was sick, there was a day where S and his family were going out of the home to go to a laundromat, and she was left all alone in the home. And what does she do? She steals a bunch of gaming consoles worth thousands of dollars and a priceless family heirloom of S, which I will not explain what the heirloom is, but she stole it, and then she left the home. When S and his family comes back, they found the home, all the items stolen. They found the priceless family heirloom gone, and she took all of her possessions and she was gone. The only thing she didn't take was her cell phone, which I don't know why she didn't take that, but she must have forgotten. I assume maybe under heavy stress and adrenaline of the situation, since she knew that she had very little time to be able to do this, she did it as fast as possible and fled. When I heard about that when I was sick, I was furious, and I immediately started to plan out everything. Now, here's where everything starts. Now that I've explained everything with the summary, here's where it starts getting interesting. Where I started to do my master plan. While she was playing card games like Uno, I was playing 3D chess. So, since I realized that she witnessed the first video and was not happy about it and actually contacted S. B, I was expecting B to be able to get angry again and recontact him if I made a second video. Now, here's where it gets interesting. This random person by the name of Estes Flock, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Well, why didn't they put spaces in that name? Holy crap. Well, out of nowhere, when I made my second video, they decided to attack me in the most disgusting and despicable way, using vulgarity as a way to prove that what I was saying was wrong. And I was trying to be the nicest person I could be, But sadly, I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap. I'm not going to use vulgarity like this person, but I am going to state facts that I can see. And this person is a absolute uneducated idiot. Because first of all, I don't know where this person is from, but I'm an American. And in America, especially as a content creator, we have the full right to openly talk about someone as negatively as she is, because what she did was disgusting and disrespectful to S. S trusted her like a sister. S liked her like a sister. S thought of her as family, and he trusted her fully. Just for her to backstab him, steal a bunch of stuff, and not just steal a bunch of gaming consoles, but also priceless family heirloom that has no monetary value. Why would she steal that that priceless family heirloom if not to hurt him deeply? And there's two possibilities as to where that family heirloom went. She threw it in the trash to spite him, or she's kept it as a trophy to brag about how she screwed him over and scammed him and betrayed him. But that shows how disgusting and evil she is. So anyone who would try to defend her and say that what I said was so negative and I shouldn't have done that, screw you. Screw you. Absolutely screw you. I have the right to tell the full truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, because I never lied once. So I must have really hit a nerve if they're that pissed off that I proved everything right, that women can be so evil and manipulative, because she was so kind, she was so nice, and then out of nowhere, she completely backstabbed everyone, betrayed everyone. And funny enough, actually, I was kind of interested in a relationship with her, but it's not because of what you think. I kind of just felt pity for her. That's actually the reason why because in the first two videos, I did talk about how I was a little bit interested in a relationship with her, because I felt pity for her. I saw this poor girl and I was like, wow, she's been through so much and she has had so much pain in her life, and she thinks that she'll never find love again. So I wanted to be in a relationship with her because I felt really painful. I felt pity for her, and I thought, I can maybe help her and help her to grow, and then eventually hope to God that she either breaks up with me or I dump her, but in a nice way. And that was the plan. But on the bright side, it would help her to strengthen herself as a human being and move on and grow. But I realize now that you cannot fix a broken plate when it's shattered into a million pieces. The best thing to do is throw out damaged goods, and she was way too beyond damage. So she doesn't deserve love. She doesn't deserve anything. She doesn't deserve a bright future as a successful person, truthfully, because she's just garbage. But this person I was very suspicious of, because here is the thing that I was kind of interested in. This person took it so offensive. They were so offended by what I had to say in that video. And I've dealt with idiots just showing up in my YouTube comments, posting some rage bait, hoping that they get a reaction out of me. And most of the time I'll state some stuff and then hope that they move on. But this person in question did not move on. In the second video that I made, we had a conversation for almost maybe 17 or 18 messages, and this person is mentally ill. Like there's three possibilities as to who this person is, because the first comment I was thinking, okay, it's just some idiot, and then out of nowhere the comments just kept getting. The second comment really made me start to think, I think I know who this is, which actually, if it is right, I 100%, all of my strategy 100% worked. So I thought that the person who was in the comments section was actually B, the chick that I'm talking about, who stole all of S's stuff and fled to Japan. And how I think it's her is because the person in question was so butthurt. And they were really, really doing the most common stereotype feminist things. They were making fun of my my looks, making fun of my hair, talking about how ugly I am, comparing me to Andrew Tate, making fun of my the size of my middle leg, of my body, and a bunch of other stuff. The most common feminist tropes that women, specifically bitches, use to try to insult men. I will say this right now, newsflash for women who are idiots, most of the time that actually doesn't work. Like if you're trying to insult a man and really twist a knife into them, pathetic things like that actually do not affect them whatsoever. Like when this person in question was just nothing but posting offensive, derogatory terms towards my manhood, it really didn't actually faze me. I was kind of laughing. It was actually funny. It was like watching an idiot jester dance around in my kingdom while I got to make fun of them and talk about how stupid they are. And they actually thought that what they were saying to me was getting to me because of all the paragraphs of messages that I would state. But here's the funny thing, actually, that a lot of people don't realize about me is when I really feel like someone is completely useless or worthless, or if an argument that I'm doing is completely boring and not worth my time, I will actually auto-dictate it with Microsoft Word, which gives me the ability to be able to make really, really long essays in under 2 or 3 minutes, and then just quickly proofread, cross I's, dot T's, and then I'm done, and then I can just submit it to the recipient. So whenever the person was just putting in so much effort to try to offend me and anger me and try to get some kind of reaction out of me, they were completely failing at it. It was like kicking a dead horse. I was proving myself right why women shouldn't be trusted, because she was showing her true colors in my comments section about how much of a piece of garbage she personally is to men. And I got to continuously make fun of her and talk about how she's mentally ill and insane. Now, the comments that I'm showing right now, since I kept receipts, sadly are not on the second video anymore, due to the fact that either someone on YouTube reported it or YouTube saw it, but they took down all the comments. They're all gone, sadly. It's unfortunate because I'm a person who believes in free speech, and I'm a free speech advocate. And even though what she was saying was horrible, she didn't do anything racist, so I kept it, and I wanted to show the comments section that this is the true colors of a woman who's scorned and is attacking a man for nothing. Because all I did was I just told her, why are you defending her so much? So that's the thing. That's also the thing that I'm talking about. So there was 3 possibilities as to who this person was, because in my brain, how I think strategically is I think of different variables and think of different chances as to what it could be. So there was 3 possibilities as to who this person was, because this person took it really seriously, what I said in this video, which means that most likely it was 3 possibilities. A, it's someone who has severe mental illness and is just absolutely insane, because normally whenever someone is this lividly angry and will refuse to move on, because normally I've had comments with idiots, but the idiots would legitimately just move on after maybe like 2 or 3 posts, but this person kept coming back and coming back and coming back. So either it's someone who's severely mentally ill and it has some kind of unresolved mental illness that was never discovered by doctors, or it's 2 other possibilities. It's someone that knows her, either a friend or a lover, or it's her herself. B, the one that I'm talking about, who fled the country most likely after stealing all of S's items. So why I think it's B, or a friend of hers, is because of 2 things that I noticed that was very interesting about these comments. The person in question had the same kind of vindictive voice as her, trying to find an insult that would really twist in, like just really hurt the person that is reading it. Like the either that, like I thought that it was most likely her, or most likely that could be mostly all women, because kind of all women have the same voice when it comes to being evil and vindictive. So I was not really fully sure about that because it could just be a spiteful piece of garbage who's an arrogant piece of trash. And fun fact about this person, actually, they continued to harass me for a long time because, funny enough, they even commented on one of my other videos, which is an update video, and they talked about how I took their advice about getting a haircut. This person is so out of touch with reality that they think that they're very vain and egotistical and arrogant self is the center of attention in the world, because apparently me getting a haircut just after that person advised me to get one, they thought that I listened to them, which never listen to stupid people whose best way to counter an argument is using vulgarity and BS. Because legitimately, I was thinking about having a haircut for even before I made the Never Trust Women Part 2. It was when I was actually sick. When I was sick, my hair was all starched and oily, and I was like, I really need to get a haircut. So that's why I got a haircut. But yeah, the person really needed a win, so they needed to say that I listened to them. And then they actually, funny enough, asked for an apology, saying that all of the comments that I said were rude and disrespectful to people in the comments section, which it wasn't. She was actually more disrespectful and rude to me. She used vulgarity and even talked about things like how I'm a stalker and how I want to eat a woman's you know what from down there, and a bunch of other disgusting things, and even talked about how I wanted to be a woman, which is mentally ill. Like and even stated that I should get a girlfriend and then have the girlfriend see my true colors and then forever sleep, which I deserve. Like this person said that I should apologize. The person in question should give me an apology because they didn't show themselves as the good guy. They showed their true colors in the comments section as the villain. Not to also mention, this is the reason why I thought it was her, because let me continue on to the subject. The reason why I think that this was her is because this person would stop commenting, and I thought that it was over. They just moved on. It's just an idiot who's just super butthurt and is just some feminist. But here was the weird thing. The person would come back after a long period of time, and I always wondered why, until I thought to myself, they're not in America. They're not in a time zone that I'm in. So I started to put two and two together. After the second message that it's either her or someone that knows her, because most likely the person in question is in Japan, because when they would stop commenting on my video, it was night in Japan, specifically like 1 or 2 a.m. And then when they would come back, it was daytime in Japan, usually when it was 1 or 2 a.m. my time, or when I was asleep. So I started to think to myself, this might be her. Now, this is all allegedly. This person in question might not have actually been her, but we'll never truly know. And I don't even know if this person in question was a male or female. But I will say is some of the wording and phrasing and some of the very vindictive and disgusting and degenerate things that the person said in the comments made it really sound like her. Because after the first time she did something, she really showed her true colors and really showed her true voice. So this person in question made me really think that this is her because it really sounds like her. Not to also mention, this person was so mentally ill, they actually used alternate accounts, and out of nowhere in the middle of the argument, an alternate account jumped in to defend her and say that I was the bad guy in the comments section. And funny enough, all those alternate accounts have also been deleted. And when I actually asked my friends about it, they said, yeah, that's most likely her. She really loves making alternate accounts. She has multiple Google accounts. So that kind of really started to make me think that most likely is her. And funny enough, this person was so mentally ill that they actually even did a crazy ass thing. This creative gloss person, after me telling them to get mental health and get a mental health checkup and medication, I went to bed and had a good night's sleep. What the hell did that person do? That person spent a bunch of time and effort photoshopping my photo as their profile and being as offensively disgusting as possible. When I woke up, I was laughing. It was so funny because this person put in so much damn effort to try to offend me, which shows how sad their life is. Like, it shows how they have nothing going on with their life, and they're pretty much most likely a complete and utter loser. Because while I was sleeping after a hard day of work, of exercising, strengthening the core of my abs, taking care of my family, scheduling YouTube videos, focusing on my education, all that important stuff, and then going to bed and having a good night's sleep, what does that person do? They do all this. And here's an example of it. I have the flu. Also, all women are abusive and manipulative. I love how it's the most common female trope to try to put words into men's mouths that they never said. Because in the second video, Never Trust Women Part 2, I said most women. I didn't say all women, but might as well put words in my mouth that I never said. Manipulative. Well, yeah, most women are manipulative and abusive, especially the newer generation women that are doing that get that beg mentality, especially when they are from Japan. I never said that. I never said especially from Japan. Actually, I have a very high honor and respect for Japanese people and their culture and tradition. So God is dead and I'm the second incarnation of Jesus. Who the hell says this? If they're not mentally ill, like who the hell? First of all, I'm a God-fearing person. I would strongly suggest never ever disrespecting God. I don't care what God you believe in. I'm neutral. Believe whatever you want to believe, but don't disrespect God, because that's an easy way to get bad karma or cancer. So I'm neutral in that. I'm neutral. Do whatever you want, and believe whatever you want, but like don't disrespect like whoever created this universe. My wing wang is 2 inches long, but I've never had a girlfriend. Oh my God, I always love that. Women always use men's sizes as a way to like hurt their pride and their manhood. That never works. That's such a stupidly used up trope. If you are a girl and in need of a friend, I will be your boyfriend. That side, I don't even get that. Like, did the person even read what they were saying before they even like made this? This is how stupid this person is. I would not shackle or imprison you, I swear. Well, yeah, of course, that's what a normal human being wouldn't do. Like, you're just stating facts of what normal human beings would do, is not imprison or shackle people, because that's creepy and weird. Love you, and I want you to be mine forever. I don't even know who the hell you are, and I don't think I would ever love you or want to be with you. I actually think that you should go into a mental institution with 4 padded walls and a straitjacket. Also, I like the ending part at the bottom. I am God. Well, I mean, I think this person definitely thinks they are God. I am not God. I'm a mortal man that could die any day, and I try to do good deeds and try to help others and treat others the way they want to be treated, and help people because the strong should protect the weak. So, I mean, I guess this person was trying to state that they are God, which I guess they think that they are. I mean, they do, from the tones that they were saying, they really think that they're the center of attention of the world when they aren't. And sadly, this person's a massive loser. Also, I like how uneducated this person is, because it shows also, this is why I really thought that it might be her, because B is Japanese and is a Japanese born national. So, and English is her second language. This is how uneducated this person is, because this was so damn funny. This was so damn funny. Imagine putting in this much effort and then being this dumb. I have the flu. That is the past tense of flying, not the sickness, FLU. So you put in so much effort into this, but we're so uneducatedly stupid that you couldn't even Google search how to spell the virus. So you misspelled it, and yeah, I guess I'm a bird. Tweet, I'm flying. Like, how stupid can you be? How dumb can you be? Like, when I showed this to my friends, we were all laughing. Like, imagine like putting in this much effort into trying to insult me and it just completely backfiring, where I'm just laughing at the jester that has severe mental illness just dancing around like a puppet. It is so hilarious. Okay, but anyway, this is why I really started to verify and think that this was her, because this person was so hateful against me and was really arrogant and egotistical and vindictive and violent and really loved to use certain hateful words as a way to twist the knife, something that she would exactly do. But this is all, like I said, alleged. This is all alleged. I don't know if whether or not it was her. I don't know if it was someone who knew her. We'll never truly know. But all I know is someone either reported it and all the comments were sadly taken down. And most likely the channel was terminated. And either YouTube did it, someone reported it, or the person in question, who's the owner of that account, did that as a way to cover tracks. Even though it didn't really work, I'm someone who keeps receipts. So after this pretty much helped me in my strategy, because I was legitimately thinking 3D chess in this situation. I was hoping that when I made the second video, Don't Trust Women Part 2, that she would actually come and attack me. And it looks like it did. And I got to verify that she was in Japan and she fled the country, because this person in question who was commenting would just stop abruptly and then come back, and then stop abruptly and come back, matching the time zone with Japan when it's daytime and nighttime. So with all of that information and me wanting to seek justice for S, since he was horribly abused by this woman who did all this horrible things and he didn't deserve it, I wanted to give him justice and a little bit of revenge. So what then happened was, now that I got all the information I needed as to where her location is, she was a very stupid person. She was both very, very stupid and also very, very smart at the same time, because she was thinking that if she fled to Japan, she wouldn't face extradition laws and stuff like that. Here's where it gets bad. Here's where it gets really bad. So since I now know that she's in Japan, and my strategy of coercing her out of her little shadow to attack me worked, I then started to contact certain agencies. You know, the Japanese Embassy of DC, the American Embassy of Tokyo, Interpol, and the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department. And here's where it gets very interesting. They were all super helpful. I'm not going to state all of what was talked about, but I will say that they were all very super interested as to her and what she did, and they were very, very helpful in tracking her down. Not to also mention, the Japanese embassy was absolutely furious at her. Absolutely furious. And when they actually gave me the contacts that would help me in the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department, and I contacted them and started talking with them, thankfully they had an English translator, because oh boy, language barriers. Whew! Language barriers, my god. It was annoying. But once I started talking to the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department, they said the most badass baller line, and that is, she is Japanese by blood, but not in spirit. She will never be one of us. They were so offended at what she did and so much dishonorable things that she did, that they even said that they don't want her, that she's not a part of their people. Like, oh boy, it was so good. And here's the fun fact about how stupid she was. She gave me a lot of information about her age, her height. I knew at the time what her hair color was, but I told them that most likely she might have changed it. Her father's first and last name, her first and last name, how many friends she has in Japan, where she met her friends, all of that information. It was stacked against her, and the Japanese Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department was very interested in all that information. Now, fast forward a couple days later, because this is where it gets really good. I am such a great strategist. I am such a mother effing great strategist because I predicted everything down to the nearest T. I predicted that she would contact me most likely. I predicted how I was able to get her location and time zone specifically and where she was. I was able to get all of it because originally, whenever I think how my brain works is I think in strategy. I think of all the possible variables of what could potentially have happened, whether or not she fled back to Japan after stealing all that stuff, or whether or not she stayed in America. Maybe she has a boyfriend, maybe she has a lover. She did admit that she was a lesbian at the time and she was with a significant other, but apparently she said that she lied about it and she was high at the time, but in the end I didn't believe it, but I thought of all the possibilities. But the biggest one was she most likely fled the country, but with her commenting in my YouTube videos, that gave me confirmation. Allegedly commenting, we'll never know, like I said. But so eventually, a couple of days later, here's where it gets good. S is contacted on Instagram by one of B's friends, another Japanese girl who verified that she was a real person and gave an ID card as identification proof that it was her and not B pretending to be her. I still don't fully trust it, whether or not it's true or not. And this is all alleged because we can't really verify it yet further. But here's what's happened currently in the situation. B has been arrested. Yay! Here's the thing. B's friend is a honorable Japanese person. You know, the majority of Japan, the people that I have high respect for. Her friend B got a call that B needed help and B was in deep trouble and that she really needs someone to kind of help her out right now. And B's friend was like, are you mad? I am not helping you with this, and contacted the authorities. And the authorities were ironically already looking for her. And her contacting the authorities really helped to just focus in on where she is. And she got arrested. Now, why was B so in dire need for her friend? And why was she arrested and is now facing really bad charges? Well, B did something really, really, really bad in Japan. And I actually predicted that if she fled to Japan, she would do three things. She would steal from someone, and they would most likely be someone of either the underground crime, and she would end up, missing because, sometimes there's wrong hands to bite, and biting the wrong hand can lead you in a really bad predicament. Another thought that I had was she was most likely going to, like I said, steal from others, most likely naive, young, stupid men as a way to survive, sell her body, and or sell drugs. Well, apparently I'm very good at predicting because I got two of the three right. Here's where it gets bad. So when she was arrested for selling and distributing ecstasy, the drug. And it gets worse. It gets way worse. It gets so much worse. Oh, it gets so much worse. She was selling it to underage boys. You think it can't get any worse than that? Nope, it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. It's gonna get way worse. Oh, it's gonna get way worse. She was then selling that ecstasy to underage boys and using. I don't know. Oh God, I don't want to say it. She was offering them sexual favors as a way for them to compensate her for the selling of the drugs. So she was whoring herself out to underage boys who wanted to score a hit. That is I know that she was a really stupid person, but I didn't expect her to be that stupid. That stupid. Like, oh boy. Oh boy. And she's 22, by the way, so she's an adult. Keep that in mind. She's an adult. So at current time of talking, she may face, because it depends in Japan, but she could be facing 10, 20, or life in prison, give or take. Give or take, depending on how much they're going to be lenient towards her. But the fact that she was selling and distributing drugs and doing horrible things with underage boys just goes to show you that she was a absolutely horrible human being. She does not deserve love, success, or future, and that she's most likely going to kiss her 20s and 30s goodbye. Oh boy, I did not expect that, but that is funny as hell. Not to also mention, now that I think about it, since she also fled the country, America, after stealing a bunch of items, that warrant for her arrest has been paused, I think, because if you flee the country, I think that pauses. So once she's done all of her time in Japan, she will then probably be extradited back to America to face charges for those actions. So yeah, she's done a bunch of horrible things in Japan, and she's going to be spending a good long time there. And I pretty much predicted so much stuff right. I predicted that karma was eventually going to come after her, and that something bad was going to happen to her if she continued her horrible ways, and that karma eventually gets bad people. And lo and behold, it did. Now she's going to be in jail for a very long time, because this is Japan we're talking about. One of the least lenient countries in the least lenient part of the world. They have a system, like I know a lot of Americans are always complaining about our judicial system, but in America, we have innocent until proven guilty. In Japan, they have guilty until proven innocent. And they have one of the highest rates when it comes to they have one of the highest conviction rates. So pretty much she is absolutely screwed. Now granted, this is alleged, because we don't know, I don't know fully if whether or not the person in question that contacted S is truly telling the truth, or is maybe B pretending to be S and is trying to get us off of her trail and off of her back. But at the same time, if that is the case and that is her trying to get us off her back, it really doesn't matter, because the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department is already trying to track her down. So it actually doesn't matter. So good luck with that. But if all of it is true, she's going to jail for a very long time, and it is funny as hell. And I got proven completely right. I proved everything right. I proved that she was in Japan. I proved that she would most likely either sell herself as services or sell drugs, since she said that she used it, so most likely she has connections. And I proved that right. I proved all of it right. I even proved that bad karma was eventually going to come for her, and that she would screw up her life. Not like she even had one in the first place, because truthfully, she was a failure. She's pretty much just a failed loser that will never amount to anything. Not to also mention, she only has pretty much a Japanese high school education, so she's not really going to have a really successful job when she gets out of prison. Not to mention also, she has the record of being a convicted criminal who sold illegal substances and did a bunch of other things. So like, she's complete and utter screwed. Like if she, for example, even she can't even marry in Japan, because Japan has also a strict age gap when it comes down to it, where they think 26 and above for a woman is too old. So if she's going to be in jail for the next 2 decades, for example, she ain't going to find anyone. So she's not going to find love for sure. So 100% she actually predicted that she was right about one thing. She's not going to find love ever, because no, Japan's really like unforgiving when it comes to unmarried older women. So she's completely screwed on that. She's completely screwed on a future job once she gets out of jail, if she ever gets out of jail. So pretty much she completely unscrewed her life. and it's well deserved. So pretty much S gets closure to a point because we still don't know where the family heirloom went. And like I said, there's two possibilities. She kept it and it's somewhere in Japan and she's using that as a trophy, as some sadistic hunt, hurting a poor innocent man who didn't deserve it. Or she threw it away despite him to really hurt him when he didn't deserve it. But yeah, it's disgusting. And I wanted to make this video as, like I said, a cautionary tale to men to not trust women because she was kind, she was sweet. She even manipulated her way back into the friends group after apologizing for her actions the first time just to backstab S and everyone a second time. But in the end, we all got our revenge. We all got our justice. And I helped out somewhat. Whether or not what I did helped out with her being found or it didn't, we'll never know. But in the end, my strategies, my planning, everything worked out. I have to say, I am definitely goddamn smart. I'm very terrible at multitasking and I start losing brain function, but when I focus and lock in on something, I can get it done. And oh boy, I got it done. So yeah, it's over. I think the trilogy's done. I think we're not going to have a sequel. Now, granted, she hasn't had her court case yet that I know of. There hasn't been any more news about it. And there hasn't been any other updates. So there might be sequels where I update and verify that, yeah, she's going to jail for a long time. We don't know. We'll find out. All I can say is currently, yeah, she's pretty much screwed. Her life's completely and utter screwed. She's not going to be able to recover from this. It just goes to show you just to really think before you do and to treat others the way you want to be treated, because we were all good friends that really wanted to help her and treat her nice. And all she was able to do was be manipulative and vengeful and evil. And she backstabbed good people. And all for what? For satisfaction and gratification that she hurt a bunch of good people that treated her with the utmost respect, to then go back to Japan, do a bunch of horribly egregious things, and now ruin like your life to the point that you'll most likely spend jail time for 2 decades. It wasn't worth it. And I hope that she learns, and I hope that she can like realize her actions and how badly she has screwed herself over. And I hope that once she gets out of jail, if she ever gets out of jail, she will. But yeah, this is a great cautionary tale to young, naive men who are interested in women. Like, be very careful. Don't be careful about trusting. Be very careful. Because she was very kind and she was very nice and she was very sweet at the start. But after the first and then after the second, she showed her true colors. She was a horrible human being. Oh, and also for anyone who wants to defend her in the comments section, like that previous incident with that one idiot, which I think, like I said, was her allegedly. Be very, very careful with what you say in the comments section. Like, before you type anything, really think before you type. Really think before you type. Because if you defend her at all, keep in mind you are defending a person who was selling illegal substances to underage boys and as compensation was offering her body to them. Just really think about that. Really think about that. You would be defending a pervert. You don't want to be known as the pervert defender. So really think before you type. But all in all, this has been a very interesting cautionary series that I made, and it got good at the end. It got really good. It's like the Avengers, like everyone united together to fight Thanos before Thanos did some fatherless behavior, and we stopped Thanos from doing any more fatherless behavior. Now that person's going to be spending jail time for a good couple of years. So yay. So yeah, so in the end, it's all great. It's all fun. It's hilarious. I get to move on. I get to like forget about her. I actually, funny enough, forgot about her. I only started remembering her once the person started harassing me in the comments section. I was like, oh yeah, it's definitely her. It's definitely her. So yeah, so rip Bozo. Anyway, I have to end it here. I'll see all of you next video. See ya.